All righty. Well, we are at time, and I am super excited for Patricia Flores to be able to show us Padlet. Patricia is actually a world language teacher in Frisco ISD, which is located at Texas. She's at Liberty High School in Frisco ISD. And not only is she a world language teacher, but she's also a curriculum writer for the district. And I just have to say, she is a joy to work with. She is so innovative in the different technology tools that she utilizes in her classroom, and just engages it's teachers like Chris and Patricia and other teachers that we have at LearnFest that make me want to go back to school and do education again. And so, Patricia, we are so excited to have you. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to turn it over to you to talk to us about Padlet and how you use Padlet and then how you use that with Bulb.
Wonderful, thank you. I'm very excited to be here and talking about Bulb app and Padlet and how they integrate together and how can you use them in your classrooms. And I love growing my PLN, so if you're on Twitter, please follow me at Coach B Flores. And I love to see, you know, great educators like yourselves and just grow with you as we go to these new areas of teaching. So let's start. We're going to be talking about what is Padlet, when I use Padlet in my classroom, how the tools integrate and embed in with Bulb, and what would you use the embedding things like Padlet creations that you do inside Bulb. Padlet is a web app that lets users post notes on a digital imaginary wall. So you can post notes, images, links, videos. It could be any web link. It could be a PDF. It could be a Word document. So you name it. It's available in any internet-ready device, so phones, laptops, desktop computers, tablets, and just same as Bulb. Actually, I love Bulb because it has an app, so I love having that resource right there handy, and my students actually have been enjoying it, having it there. They are like, oh, I can take Bulb anywhere. So they have all the integrations and all the tools in one place as well. Well, Padlet gathers ideas so you can share them, modify them in case you want to arrange them differently. You can move them, and it could be immediately, right away, or it could be, you know, later, a few days or months after you already created those Padlets. So it's beautifully kind of like, you know, letting you modify the environment. Now, how do you share Padlet? Padlets can be shared with a link. Okay, or you can embed them into web pages with HTML codes. And that's how I found them. You know, I use Canvas LMS, and I wonderfully, you know, just take those HTML codes and embed them into my pages and my courses. So my students don't have to go anywhere else outside their environment in Canvas. So you have those two options. Before we go on to me showing you how I use it, I would like to say why we like to add the Padlets into Bulb e-portfolios. First of all, let's shift the conversations from grade to learning. That's the important part. We use Bulb app in my classroom to track progress and level of mastery. So having one place to curate, to share, to showcase, it's very student-centered content. And then the students' best works, not only, you know, they share them with the teacher, but with anyone, with their parents, with the whole classroom, with their community. And then they can reflect on their progress. And definitely this one is a unique way to be college ready and job ready. So shift to the reflective practices. That's the important part here, to provide those opportunities in the class for students to evaluate their progress. And then we can create an incentive for the students to continually revisit, revamp improve their work. So definitely we are helping those students become active learners in their learning process. So beautifully, I can see, you know, my e-portfolios coming into my World Language classroom to provide that space where the students can think critically about their work, and they can take the risk and, you know, modify, change, and improve, and they can take that opportunity to be engaged in their learning. So these are ways that I can use Padlet in my classroom. I will show you in my Bulb app portfolio in just a minute. But usually we can use them with the Padlet as warm-ups, quick warm-ups, or exit tickets. Some people call them bell ringers. I usually, the beginning of the year, I have introductions. So students post selfies and introduce themselves. I use them with quick feedback. So today I use them with my students, quick feedback, but also as I've been presenting several conferences lately this summer, I just post a Padlet and teachers can share their takeaways on ideas, and I can share them later on Twitter or the social media, and everybody benefits from it. I recently used it this year, Padlet, as a documentation timeline. So as teachers, we have evaluations every year. So I was able to provide this timeline with the different resources like PDFs and information, data, and the progress of my students' progress in the progress of my students this year. And then I was able to share the link to my supervisor. So that's a wonderful way to use them as documentation and timelines. Also, I use it as a class updates. So my students were able to see what was happening during e-learning, and I was able to highlight some students, and it was amazing, kind of like to see that conversation going on with my students where they can, they feel proud about what their successes during the week and posting and talk about it. Other ideas, collaborative note-taking, predicting during readings, or event planning. Everybody can just post, oh, let's do this, or, you know, just share ideas. So now let's go, everybody. I would like to invite you to go to my Bulb app. I would like for you to go to, oh, where's my link? I will post it on the chat so everybody can have it as well. And then see how I have integrated this wonderful tool. And if anybody could help me with that, that'd be great. Sharing that link. Okay, so here it is. This is my Bulb. Let's see. I'm gonna focus this. I'm gonna present. So this is the beautiful part of Bulb, that you can either have like the editing and then the presenting. So this is my presenting view, and I'm able to just scroll down. And I had embedded here my Google Slides, and so you can actually just go through them again. So I don't have to share any other links. So just go to my Bulb app. Bria, have you already shared my page?
I was, sorry, I was working on it, but I didn't get the full link. Can you go back just really quickly? Oh, it looks like Kelsey beat me to it, so she's
wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Yep. Appreciate it.
So
the participants can have.
They can try out Padlet. Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And so I embedded the Google Slides inside my Bulb page. And now I can show you here how I used Padlet in the classroom. So let's go here to see some of my examples of the uses. The app smashing, as I've been talking about, you know, students just turning the daily work. Okay, I created columns inside these Padlets. So my students can just go to the Padlet. So I just share one Padlet link a year. and then they can just refer to it back the whole year. And then I create the columns so students can turn in their work by columns. And as you can see here, you know, I have videos, and I have, and then you can play them in bulk. So it's wonderful that you have that opportunity, that you can play the video, you can collaborate with the students. This Padlet right now is, I close it obviously, so we don't have extra comments, but I will show you one at the end of today that you can just share your feedback, takeaways, and ideas, and actually you will be able to rate or add comments later. Then we have, so that's how I use them for my students just to submit their daily work. Okay, they can submit videos, links, questions, anything. This is the request of feedback that I have shared with participants at conferences. This was Leveraging Canvas conference, and the participants were able to actually just share their takeaways and ideas as well. And then I'm gonna show you these class updates. That was the ones that I shared with my students. So we have the highlights of the week, and the students were able to see, you know, like I highlight some of the products, for example, these images or infographics that my students created in the classrooms, or videos. So, or I could just say, you know, a shout out to certain students for attending the weekly tutorials. And it was a wonderful way for communicating. The students would post, you know, because I send them on the mail shout outs, and the students will just come in here and post their pictures receiving their shout outs that I sent through the regular mail. So it was a wonderful place for collaboration and for me to highlight my students as well. And documentation, this is my Thailand documentation. I find this one that I love from another example on Twitter. This student, she's been learning German for 8 years, and she created her journey on this Padlet. So that was a wonderful way to do a timeline in Padlet. And here is mine, the one that I show the progress and evidence of my students' growth for my documentation this year. So I was able to just share the PDFs and all the other data with my supervisor. So how do you embed? It's very simple. Padlet just have this share option on the top right. So once you click the share menu, it appears all the options, and then it says copy link to the clipboard. And then later, you can just open your bulk page where you want to embed the Padlet. And imagine this is it. So remember, you need to just click return. So this menu in bulk app portfolio appears, and you have the option to add either video, images, files, audio, or a URL. In this case, I'm gonna embed the URL from the Padlet that I copied it before. And I pasted the URL directly into my bulk. And voila, that's it. I have my embedded Padlet in bulk. And as we talk, why we embed these Padlets in bulk? So it's wonderful to track the progress. Tracking the progress can help learners appreciate the work, their growth, and identify areas where they need to invest more time and energy to improve. So I love blended learning with Kathleen Tucker, and she talks about those self-assessment reflective practices. And it's wonderful to see how I have this place for my students to curate, to share, to showcase their progress. And as we go through these reflective practices, we can use also Padlet to embed their timelines, as we saw, embed their progress from 1 year, but then in the same bulk, you can have multiple years in only one page. So you can have multiple Padlets inside bulk, and then you don't have to go anywhere else but to the bulk portfolio. And then those students will be able to share it with colleges, universities, and job applications, and they have all the growth, the progress, and the amazing things they have done in their classes or in their courses, or it could be any sport, it could be their curriculum activities or their club ideas. So it's an amazing way to just have everything involved in portfolio, digital portfolio, to showcase and share your amazing things and endeavors that you're doing in your life. So I don't know if anyone have a question for me, and I'd be glad to take any questions. But before I do that, I would like just for you to share your ideas here in this Padlet. Thank you, Nifa, you already shared. Thank you so much for your takeaways here. Definitely, yes, we can have one-stop shop for everything, for reflections, for learning, all in one spot. I would like, if you guys, all my Bulb app users around the world, if you could just also share your digital portfolio, so we can just also see worldwide and nationwide your amazing things that you are doing in your classrooms and in your lives as well. So I have integrated mine here in this Padlet for you. So just click the plus sign. It's very simple for Padlet. We have 3 columns. If you want to share a takeaway, just click the share the takeaway. And as you can see, this one is wonderful integration that you can just post right away. I can just say hello, and then post it. And if I don't like it, I can just later change it and arrange it as I want. So here, if you could just share some ideas on how to use Padlet. These are my ideas of things that I have done in my classroom, but I am always open for feedback and for ways to increase the students' participation and collaboration among the teachers. So please share your ideas. Oh, wonderful research. Yes, definitely, that's a wonderful idea. Students can, and as you can see, this is live, so you can host one of these with your e-learning classrooms, and then we can just be teaching and talking at the same time. Everything is live, everything is integrated. I can see the students' answer, I can collaborate with them, I can reply. It's wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing your takeaways. And I would like to see more digital portfolios coming my way here as well in this last app. Padlet that I integrated. And please share your takeaways on Twitter. Follow me at Coach P. Flores and share your wonderful ideas, takeaways, and ways that you're using either Padlet or how can we integrate it more into Bulb portfolios.
Patricia, that was so great. And thank you for creating a opportunity for people who maybe never use Padlet to go to your Bulb page. And if they scroll down to the bottom, that last Padlet that you were just showing, they can actually add things to those different columns, and we can have a live kind of ongoing
conversation. Yes.
Yeah, and conversation on there. So if you guys had never tried Padlet, I encourage you to use the link in the chat to Patricia's page and give it a try and post something on her Padlet board via that Bulb page.
Right, and actually I'm gonna just share I'm gonna post it on the very top for those of you who would like, now that you just share at the bottom, I would like to just put it on the top. So then that way people can just go in directly. So let's just, I copied I went into my Padlet. I'm gonna just share. And then I copy the link to the clipboard, and then I go back to my Bulb app portfolio. Yep. And open the URL, I submit it, and voila, that's it. Simple, easy. I did it in just 1 minute, second. Not 1 minute, it was like a couple seconds, and then I can make it a little bit larger. So far, oh, thank you, Adriana. I can see now your Bulb app portfolio. Thank you so much. And I start seeing, and did you see? I mean, she already posted, and now I'm able to see it right away. I think Adriana was from far. So where are you, Adriana? If you could just comment on the link, that'd be great, just to see. And if you can just also, you can edit your own post as well. That'd be amazing to just, please, before you post, share your either your Twitter handle, your name, that'd be great. So then we can also follow you back.
That's great. And then Patricia, we had a question. Danae had asked, when students replies show in Padlet, do they only show for you, or does everyone see those? So
on a Padlet?
I think I might understand, but Danae, correct me if I'm wrong. But when a student replies in Padlet, does everyone see that?
Everybody sees them. Mm-hmm. But I mean, there's these, I know as a teacher, we need to, be careful. So you can decide to change the privacy of your Padlet, and then how the participants are going to interact with your Padlet. You can have it private. You can have a password if you decide to do so. You don't want to have it like open for everybody, but you can share the Padlet link and then share the password privately with your students. You can have it secret. That way, only the person who have the link will be able to access your Padlet. Or you can have it public, as the one that I have just shared. So all my Padlets are public, so then you will be able to see them and interact with them and see my content. Now, not only that, you can also have permission of the visitors. You can write, you can read, or you can edit. So in this case, I put to write because I want you to have that opportunity for you to edit my Padlet. But if I wanted you only to read it, like the other ones that I show you, that it was like, hey, these ones you cannot interact because I just put them for you to read. You can also share it with a collaborative teacher. So if you have, a team of teachers working on your same PLCs, they can edit as well and move and arrange. So I have a collaboration with a teacher with Ecuador. So she shares her Padlet with me for me to see her students' videos and for my students to comment back and reply with either a video comment or a text. And she had me as an editor as well. So then I was able to arrange and delete in case, I need to do so. So Padlet has that wonderful opportunity to just save it, and then you just share your permissions as you go.
And you stay on that page, because what's helpful to know in Bulb too is those are the settings within Padlet. But if you want to embed them into Bulb like Patricia did, if you can't embed private or password protected, you can only embed that secret, which is that anyone with the link and the public Padlets. And the reason is because you're taking that Padlet and you're putting it on a site that has its own permissions, which is Bulb. And so a good rule of thumb to understand embedding media into Bulb is if it can be shared with anyone with the link or with public, there's a good chance it can be embedded into Bulb. But those that are password protected or private usually stay within the platform that it was created in. So do we have any other? This was terrific. I love Padlet. I love what you do in Padlet. I love seeing all those ideas. Any other questions we have from the audience today?
So now my Padlet is on the top. So as soon as you reach out my link, and yeah, that's true what Ria says. You can also edit the Bulb where you are embedding your Padlet. So you can just publish or to whoever you want. I usually don't have them public for my students, but I have all these classes that are already integrated because my district uses Bulb. So I can just share the Bulb to one of my classes and or to my whole organization in Frisco, and I decide who sees my Padlet and my Bulb as well. Well, just make sure to click the publish down here, otherwise the modifications will not appear. There you go.
That is terrific. And again, we'll be sharing out the resources that Patricia shared with us today. So thank you so much for giving us a quick glimpse into Padlet and what it looks like in your classroom and all the different ways that you use it. What a cool brainstorming and feedback application. And then love that it's so interactive within the bold pages too, to be able to collect that evidence of learning and track that process. So thank you so much, Patricia. I greatly appreciate that.